Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dheeraj Chaudhary and today we are going to walk through a practical Docker project of how to build a web application that maintains data even when containers are stopped or restarted. So let's get started. We are covering 7 key topics today that will give you practical Docker skills for Python development. Now, Docker Compose for Python. So over here, you are going to learn how to orchestrate multi-container application, making it easy to run Python apps with all their dependencies. Then persistent data storage. So this is the critical concept where data in containers is temporary by default. As you know, if you delete the container, the data is also gone. It is ephemeral. So we will show you how volumes can be kept safe. That is a data safe thing. Then SQLite. This is the practical example using SQLite database. So you will see firsthand how data persists even when containers are stopped or removed. So this project also uses volume mounting, where mounting your code for live deployments and mounting data directories for persistent. Over here, you will see how to expose your containerized application to outside world so you can actually access them. So Docker free deployment over here does not mean we are not using Dockerfile. We are using Docker Compose, which is a kind of Dockerfile itself. So we are going to use that instead of the Dockerfile. Then we have also added Git ignore and Docker ignore to our project as part of best practices for keeping your repository clean and making Docker builds efficient. So by the end of this session, you would be able to build, run, and manage containerized Python application with confidence. So let's understand the architectural diagram. On the left hand side, you can see there is a project directory. So this is the code that you're going to clone from my repository, which is going to hold app.py file. This is our Flask application, and the next one is requirement.txt. In this, you're going to have all the dependencies that we would require to run our Flask application, and then templates, which are HTML templates, which will be used by our Flask blog application, which would be pages of our Flask blocks that we have to create. Then once we run the Docker Compose, it is going to spin up a container. So this is our container, that is Flask blog app container. And the next thing it will spin up is Docker named volume, where we are going to store our blog data. So this is how it is going to get implemented when we are going to go ahead and run our Docker file. So when you have to access this Flask application, you have to use localhost 5000, and you would be able to enter into your Flask web application, where you can go ahead and write a blog and then check if the blog is live or not. Now, let's start with the first step, cloning the repository. So at this step, I will also show you how the repository looks like. So let me take you to our repository. So this is our repository where everything is very well documented with the architectural diagram. So first and foremost, you have to come to step 1, that is clone the repository. So for that, I will clone the repository, copy this command and go to our terminal and paste the command over here. This is going to clone the repository. So over here, you can see our repository has been cloned successfully. So once our repository is cloned, the next step for us is to go ahead and open the code editor to view all the files which are part of this repository. So we are inside our code editor, and over here you can see the code is available for our Flask blog website. Over here you can see that we have written multiple functions where we have declared our SQLite connection. Over here we are also giving the connectivity, that is generating the connectivity for our SQLite, which is going to get created as part of it. And we are also creating a connection with all the templates that you can see over here. So to create a blog, you are going to use create.html. Then to show it, then the landing page is going to be index.html, and the post blog, you are going to use post.html. So these are different types of HTML which is going to reflect on the web application when you're going to run it. Now, so this is the most important file, that is docker-compose.yml file, over where we are going to create the code for our services. So one service that we are going to have, nothing but our Flask application service. So let's see how we are defining it. So this is our service name, that is going to be Flask blog, and under this service we are defining the image that we are going to use for our Docker build. Then the container name is going to be Flask blog app, and over here you can see our local port as well as the container port that we have defined over here. So we are mapping the host port and the local port. Then we are going ahead and mounting our data of this container inside block dash data colon slash data. This is a named volume. Don't worry, this volume is going to come below. I will show you. So this is how we are associating this volume that we are creating over here. And uh, first and foremost, it is what it is going to do is it is going to go ahead and copy everything from our application. So it is saying that mount current directory to the app. First thing it will mount. Second, whatever changes are being done, so everything is going to go ahead and being saved in blog.db over here. Then we are setting our working directory over here as slash app. What does that mean? When we are setting up our working directory, that means whatever command that we are going to run after this, that is like install dependency from requirement.txt and running the Flask application, it is going to be uh, run inside this slash app folder. So once we are in the working directory, these commands are going to execute, where we are first going to run the requirement.txt and then we are going to run our application. Now we are also mentioning the restart policy. So by any chance, if it has been stopped, it will automatically go ahead and restart. If we are going ahead and stopping it manually, then this policy won't work. But if it is going ahead and stopping by itself, then it will restart. Over here, we are also mentioning the environment variables, where we set the Flask to deployment development mode for better error messages. And the next one is Python buffered. So this is being used to prevent Python from buffering the std out and std err errors, so that you can log them immediately. Then comes our named volume definition. So as I said, we are going to create a container and we are going to create a Docker volume also, which is going to be a persistent storage. So over here, as part of volumes, we are going to define the volume name as block data, and the driver is local. That means it is going to store it on our local machine inside the Docker directory. So when you install Docker, these paths are already been configured on your local machine. So most probably it is going to be in var lib docker volumes, where the volumes data is going to get stored. So this is how your Docker Compose is going to go ahead and create a container as well as a volume, and it is going to also mount this volume in with your container. So whatever data has to be saved, it would be saved onto your local storage. Then we have defined over here git ignore file. So unwanted file should not be part of your build. And same, we have also defined git ignore file. So unwanted file won't be part of your repository. It's time for us to go ahead and run the Docker Compose command to build and deploy our application. So for doing that, we would be using Docker Compose up space dash D, which means it is going to run in the detach mode in the background. Before running this command, I will take you to my Docker desktop and I will show you right now we don't have any containers running, nor images, and not even volumes. So let me jump to the terminal and run the command docker compose up dash D. So over here you can see it is going ahead and building the image, and once it has built the image, it is going to go ahead and run the container also as part of this process. So over here it is showing that it has created one network within which the Docker container has been created. So this is the name of the network that it has created. This is the name of the Docker container it has created, Docker volume it has created, and this is the name of the container. So these are the three things it has created successfully. Now let's verify if the container is up and running. So for verifying, I will clear the screen and run the command docker ps, and over here it is going to go ahead and show you that the container is up and running. This is the image which is it is using that I have already shown you in the Docker Compose file, and this is the name of the container. Now let's verify the volume that we were targeting to create. Is that volume created successfully? So for doing that, I will go back and clear the screen and I will say Docker volumes. Sorry, it is going to be Docker volume ls. So this is saying that a local Docker volume has been created and this is the name of the local Docker volume. Now, if you want to have further details of this, what you can do is just copy the name and now you say Docker volume inspect and just paste the name of the volume over here and hit enter. So this is going to give you all the details about that specific volume. So over here it has also shown you the Docker Compose version, the compose volume name. It is showing the mount point also. See, this is the mount point and this is the name of that specific mount point and the scope is local. So now it's time for us to access the application. For doing that, we will go to our web and I will say http colon localhost 5000. So over here, this is going to be our Flask blog application. So by default, you can see one blog. This is part of our code just to show you how the blog looks when you create. So this is how your blog will going to be looking. So our next task is nothing but we have to create a new blog post. So for doing that, first I'm going to click on the create new post button. Once I click that, then I'm going to fill the blog with the details and then I'm going to click on publish post. So let's do that. Create new. Over here, I would say Dheeraj Tech Insight first blog. And over here I will give my name as the author and over here I would just suggest the name and say this is the description and I will publish the post. As soon as I click on publish post, you can see our post has been created successfully and it is available on our landing page, which shows that the post is created successfully. So till now we have understood using Docker Compose, we build our app. The app is available for us. We went ahead and created a new post inside that app. Now it's time for us to verify the persistent storage. So for verifying that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first run the command docker compose down. So let's see what this command does. So let me clear the screen and I would say docker compose down and hit enter and you can see purposely I'm not doing in detach mode because I wanted to show you that when you run this command it is going to bring down your container as well as the network, but this command is not going to delete your volume. So if I take you back over here to our Docker desktop, you can see the container has been removed. The image is still there and the volume is also there. The volume has not been deleted. So the beauty of the persistent storage is now I am again going to bring up our application and see if our blog exists or not. So for doing that, I will go back to our terminal, clear the screen, and we will again run our docker compose up dash d. So I will hit on enter and you can see it went ahead and created the network as well as the container once again. So let me go back to our app. So let me close it and reopen it again. So once I reopen, you can see our block still exist. So this is the value of persistent storage. So this is how you can see the data is still there because it was stored on our local drive. So now for troubleshooting purpose, by any chance your application is not running or there is some issues that you see, so at that time you can also go ahead and check the logs by running this command, that is docker compose logs -f and flask blog. So let me show you this command blog. So if I hit on enter, so this is over here, you can see that this is a development server. Do not use it in production. user production WSGI. So this is the kind of logs you are seeing. So this is a runtime log. So as soon as new logs are going to come in, it is going to get populated. So now your screen has been stuck with the logs. To come out of that screen, you have to press Control plus C. So now if I press Control plus C, I am out of this live log which was running onto my terminal. And now it's time for us to do the cleanup activity where we are going to run the Docker compose down, but this time we are going to run it with the flag -v. So when you do it with -v, it is going to go ahead and delete the volume also which was available. So let me first show you over here. So you can see the volume is available, that has been created as part of Docker compose. Now we are going to run Docker compose down with the flag -v and hit enter. And now you can see it is first it brought down the container, then the network, and then the volume too. So let's re-verify this over here. See, the volume has been gone. The container has also been deleted successfully. And with that, we come to the end of this tutorial. If you like the video, don't forget to like, share, as well as subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next video.